Good afternoon, keepers of the cash. Gary B, the casual comic guy here, and we are doing our Savage Saturday 11. And this week we're featuring the 6-issue series Beowulf. All right, this is from DC Comics back in 1975, I believe, and this is part of what was supposed to be the DC Comics explosion. Instead, it ended up being part of the DC Comics implosion. Back then, Marvel had really started putting out a lot more titles and expanding. DC wanted to keep up. And they ran into some issues with sales. And then the two blizzards 2 years in a row, 74 and 75, really hurt their distribution. And then they did a purge of a bunch of titles. I think they dropped 24 titles at once. And a lot of good titles that were going, a lot of titles that had promise that just never got the chance to keep going. Beowulf is definitely one of these titles, as was another title, Stalker, and so many more. We could go on about that for a while. But we're here to talk about Beowulf, give a quick overview. I'm going to say, first off, because I like to do parts, is that the cover art on these is really good. Not great. What I like is all the stuff in the forefront really looks amazing. But they definitely went really plain with just a solid color in each background, which doesn't take away from it. But on a cover like this one, you really wanted some more background. How great it would have been with some mountains or just some kind of different scenery back there instead of a big red background. But the characters look great. The art's good. So I'm going to give the covers a B. The art is solid, but again, the same difference. Everything has just a real solid color background. Great one there. So of course you know the legendary character Beowulf. And it starts out with him in battle with his crew. And a wizard pops up and lets him know that a friend of his father's on a different isle is getting besieged by Beowulf. And him and his crew go to fight it. When they ask him why, he's like, so my legend lives on. They'll be talking about me long after I'm gone. So not the best heroic moment for him. He's more self-serving then. But this series in the 6 issues went back and forth. He became more heroic. He really wanted to do the right thing. He wanted to save people. He wanted to save his crew. He wanted to take care of the crew. And these 6 issues really read like a quest, which is a journey, which is what I really enjoyed about it. The writing was good, and there's a lot of different names in here which are hard to remember, but we'll get to the creative team first, though. So it was edited by Denny O'Neil, who is a legend. No one needs to articulate more on him. He is who he is, and he's well known. So, but we had the script by Michael Uzlan and the art by Ricardo Villamonte. And right away, I really dug Ricardo Villamonte's art. I wasn't familiar with him before, and I thought he just knocked it out of the park with this series. The monsters look great. The scenery is amazing. And he just really did a real good job being creative. And just, he had some great panels. And every single issue, his art was really just a joy to look at. So I'm going to give the interior art an A+. I just really thought that he did a great job in the interior art. And in this journey, so part of the journey is getting over to help his father's old friend, whose castle is besieged by Beowulf, right? And Beowulf is in the thrall of Satan. Satan is his master, and Satan, just all life is a game to him, and he likes putting these pawns against each other. It's his chessboard. The whole world's his chessboard. He just likes playing them against each other for his amusement. And Beowulf is a part of that, but Beowulf resents that and doesn't want to be ruled by Satan, so he's got plans on that. And I'm not going to elaborate too much on the story. I just want to highlight certain things like the art. The writing, I'm going to give a B+2. The story was really good. The only thing keeping it from an A is the same kind of thing that the writers keep falling into. You're reading it, you're really there, you're really in the time period. And then they put a modern phrasing there, even for 1975, which just draws you out of that time period and puts you back in. And it just, it's unfortunate when they do that. And I know it's tough, but it does draw you out, so I got to give it a little off for that. But still, well worth reading. The writing is really good. It is an epic tale. It's told as an epic tale. And I'm trying to find another great splash page here, because each issue has like a really good splash page. But, well, that's just a really nice page. I'll show you that. But, the writing was great. A solid B+ on the writing. Really enjoyed it. And then there was some clever things in the writing. So this is obviously a sword and sorcery tale, and you got Beowulf and his team, and they come across a siren which is wrecking them. He ends up teaming up with her because she was under the thrall of Satan as well, and some monsters, and they have their god Weird or Word. Both pronunciations are correct. Wyrd, and it's just the god of destiny, right? And it's actually what the word means. And Beowulf is on a quest to fulfill his destiny, and Nancy is the siren he ends up saving. She gets her mind back, and she becomes a traveling companion and warrior alongside him and his crew. And they come across swamp people, giant snakes, minotaurs, Dracula himself, and it's just an epic fantasy. Scrolling through, they take a trip through hell, even talk to Satan, but it's an epic fantasy. The scenes are always changing. Aliens are in one, and it fits in perfectly. It's awesome, and it's got scale to it, which is nice because you want to read a book like this and feel like you're on the journey with the hero, and you certainly do. The unfortunate thing, I'm going to give the conclusion a B. And it's not the writer's fault. Certainly not the artist's fault. It's DC's fault. They canceled the series before the arc finished. Before you got to see the big fight between Beowulf and Grendel. That would end in one of their deaths, right? So, if you know the tale, you know who wins, obviously. But I really thought they missed an opportunity. They couldn't go one more issue and wrap the story up. But they didn't. But I found secrets. Cool secrets. So the incantations that the good wizard says happen to be all words written backwards. And I just noticed it when I read it. And then I'm like, wait a second, something's weird about that. And I looked at it for a second. And it's littered throughout the issues. So I'm going to go through these incantations and tell you what they were. And it's really, really fun. So, you see on here, the incantation is Yakum Ras Niwa Data Seated Sithis. And what that translates into when you read it backwards, though, is this is dedicated to Winsor McCay. Who's Winsor McCay? He is actually a great artist from back in the day. I think he was getting towards the prime of his career in like 1905, and he's credited with being one of the founding fathers of the newspaper comic strip. You can go down a YouTube rabbit hole learning about him. There's plenty of stuff out there. I'm not going to elaborate on it because I'm not an authority on him. I don't know much about him beyond that, and I don't want to spew out misinformation. So that was the one in there. I really thought it was cool. And I'll read you there's a couple more. We'll just go through them for fun. And they're good-natured ones, and they're positive. One of them takes a shot at Conan. Conan got the last laugh. He's still around. So we have this scene here. And with this fight going on. And you have the incantation here. All right, what the incantation says is Sit Pot Nanok Eastil. And what it translates into when you read it backwards is let's see Conan top this. And he did, because he's still around. But it was still a good-natured, funny poke back and forth. You gotta love it. You know, little busting each other's chops, which is always fun. And then this one was, where was it? I just had it, right? Oh, new. What else is new? So they're in a predicament in a fantasy novel, and when you read it backwards, it tells you like it's like new. What else is new? Because you know sometimes it's the same old tropes, right? And that's not what he meant in that. But what he meant with the characters is, oh, we're in danger again. We got to fight again. What else is new? Just fun stuff. I only got a couple more, and we'll wrap this up, right? So on this one, the backwards incantation read. Come on, I got it marked for a reason. Why can't I get it? All right, the incantation read Sefe Knowledge Ekum Aye, which is, hey, a Mike Uslan effect. So, Mike Uslan being the writer, the backwards incantation being his own effect, and so a little meta there and fun. And only one in that one. Not all of them had it. He didn't shoehorn them in. They're in there when there needs to be an incantation. All right, in this one, I gotta find it again real quick. You think I would? This says happy marriage, Bob and Cindy. So, good little message to some friends of his. And right there, it's backwards, but it says happy marriage, Bob and Cindy. So, fun little message to some people he knows. And then the last one for the hidden message. And I was really happy that I found these. Because if I wouldn't have noticed it, you would have this in your collection and you would have no idea it's there. And the last one, right here. And this one's a funny one. Is there room for me on Star Trek when you read it backwards? Obviously trying to write on Star Trek or just be a walk-on extra or just have a role. So really good stuff. Like I said, this series overall, I'm going to give an A. I just wish DC would have went the extra issue and let them conclude the story because it was on a great path. It was on a fun path. And all 6 of these issues are a really fun read. The characters are great. The characters advance. The characters actually care about each other. And a really good title that DC let go by the wayside. So it's unfortunate. But that's it for now, guys. I hope you enjoyed this week's Savage Saturday. And I'll see you next Saturday with another one. And until next time, keep it casual.